So, we're here because the initial budget was, I would say the no vote was just people who didn't show up. It wasn't voted down. The people just didn't come out to vote. And so it is really critical that we make sure that we are igniting our friendship circles, sending text messages, emails, helping people get out to the polls. This is more than just about a $14 a month increase. $10. Oh, $10.98, which is probably less than one of those grand latte, whatever Starbucks drinks, okay? Or Dunkin' Donuts and a muffin. And so it's nothing that is going to cripple anyone and cause them to lose their house, but our children have to be educated properly. We don't want to lose out on any special ed. We don't want to lose out on any of the baccalaureate programs, our cultural arts programs, our after-school programs, any of those things and services which are critical. Our students, we know we have also mental health and emotional health needs, social service needs. We want to make sure that they have safe and inviting places to be at after school and on the weekends. All of those things are critical. And then on the city side, the city partners with the school district, and the utilization of not only the city, but so many of our community-based agencies in being able to utilize the buildings of the school district to continue to provide after-school, summer camps, swimming programs, programs that really enrich our young people. And honestly, we have to be truthful. A lot of young people do not go to school for their basic education. They go to school because it allows them to participate in sports. And when you take sports out, that's just going to do nothing but increase our dropout rate. When we take out the cultural arts, which also gives our young people additional opportunities for scholarships to get into college. When we take out the extracurricular activities, you cannot bare bones education. You cannot bare bones education. And to me, and this will sound political, it's incredible that the person who served for 10 years as either the president of the board or the vice president of the board is acting as if they don't understand how their advocacy for 0% tax increases over a 10-year period left this community in fiscal distress. How could you sit as the president of any organization for 10 years and push for a zero cost increase on the taxes and on the budget, but you have to settle contract negotiations and dealing with increasing medical costs and utility costs and maintenance costs of the buildings? Nothing exists at a 0% increase. And we understand that people have affordability challenges, but you're not telling Con Ed that you're not going to pay your utility bill. You sit there and you make adjustments and you wear some sweats around the house and you put on some fans. And if we could make adjustments for Con Edison and we could wear a hoodie instead of walking around the house in the winter in shorts, then clearly our children are worth not going to get Starbucks or get McDonald's or a cocktail at happy hour, right? That's really, really what it comes down to. And so thank you so much, Dr. Strickland. Thank you to our board trustees. And thank you, Ms. Atkins, for hosting this tonight, because it's really, really important that people understand the seriousness of what our children are going to miss out on. And when we disinvest in education, then we're putting ourselves at risk to have to invest more in public safety. Because young people who are not educated and don't have places to go and things to do will find something. And I don't mind, as they say, it is the devil's workshop. So we're going to pay on the front end or we're going to pay on the back end. So please, everyone, go out, vote yes for the budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Just in case some of you don't know me, I'm Diane Atkins. I am hosting this, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. Some people already know I always have a big fish fry here, so they thought I was having that here tonight. And I'm sorry I gave you a bag of chips instead. So you didn't smell the fish. I'm sorry. I'm glad you didn't turn around and, go home. So it tickles me when I hear her talk about some of the things at the school about Con Ed, because I work for the Department of Social Services. So, I handle all of the services. Mount Vernon keeps me more active than any other city. I say young because Yonkers might be a little bit ahead of you, but anyway. So I'm a graduate. I'm a graduate of Mount Vernon High School, and I went to school basically in New Rochelle, growing up as a kid in the projects and stuff. Did I hear somebody boo that? So, and having Mount Vernon's office, social service office, was my first office when I joined to work in. So I really and truly got to know the community and all the things that go on. And I had a great time in high school. I had a really great time in Mount Vernon High School, and I certainly wouldn't want any child, any kid to miss out on the things that we have offered, that have been offered in Mount Vernon. We had there's always that rivalry between Mount Vernon and New Rochelle, and I would like to see that nice, respective rivalry again. We both towns have so much to offer. And, life is too short to be angry and mean and nasty. We don't know how long we're going to be here. I would think that we want to make it as pleasant as possible. So I'm not going to talk too much more longer, but I see the controller just came in, Reverend Dr. Darren Morton. And so I just want to give you a little short introduction how I really met Dr. Strickland. But, we were dealing on an emergency at the time, so I really haven't had any fun with him, So I thought that he did so much for Mount Vernon when we had the fire, when 100 apartments were burned, and no one could go back into those, and people lost their housing. And I have to say the mayor did a tremendous job. And I've worked for the county like 50 years probably. 42 years in social services. I've been to fires all over this county. I've never seen a city come together like Mount Vernon did for those families. Never. I never saw it. Usually what happens when it's a city, town, village, and you have a fire or something like that, the first thing they do is they ask the county, what can you do for us? This time, the county didn't hear a word from Mount Vernon, but Mount Vernon stood up for themselves, and Mount Vernon took care of their people. Those, and we did not leave them alone until we had touched everybody, until everybody had some place to go. So most of that had a lot to do with the school board here in the school system, and our new superintendent of school, Dr. Strickland. He came up with, let's use one of the schools to house all of these 100, 200 people that needed housing that were burnt out. And that's what he did at that time, and we worked tirelessly to make sure that they weren't traumatized, that those members were not traumatized any longer. Not again, because they were already traumatized, but to give them a safe place to stay, food. They had everything, laundry, they had everything. And I have to say, I've never, ever, in all my career, seen anything like that. So I never really was able to say thank you to him because we were all so busy doing things. But just in case you didn't know it, about Dr. Strickland's involvement with those families. I think that I told you the story right now, how he opened up that school and provided all the services that protect those traumatized fire victims. And it was fabulous. So I would just like to say, let's give him a round of applause and say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now, this turned into something. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just going to have a nice little meet and greet. And then I read a whole lot of things, and they said, party over here at Diane's, and, things like that. And I said, oh, really? So it just changed into something that he said, I just want to prepare you, Diane. I said, well, let them come. I said meet and greet. And, I want the superintendent as a social worker, I'm very protective of the kids we serve and the families that we serve here in Mount Vernon. So I have nothing to hide. And people say, well, she's biased. I can be whatever I want to be, and so can you. I ain't asking you which way you going. But the thing is that we need to be, there's a word called unite and unity. And we need to observe that. And we need to start acting like that and stop being enemies to each other. So I just say that because all I said, and they said, well, why is it at her house and not at a open place, a public place? I said, well, I just wanted to have a meet and greet for the superintendent. I'm not cutting out anything else y'all want to have. I don't care, but I wanted to do my part because I'm a part of this community for over 50 years. I'm a part of there, and I went to school here, and I'm a protective as a social worker. I'm looking out for children and families in this community. So that's enough about me, and it's more about him, and more about what he has to bring and what this community needs. So I want you to put your hands together for Dr. Strickland.
Great evening, everyone. So I first want to thank Ms. Atkins first for that introduction too much, but inviting us to her lovely home on a nice evening. It was supposed to rain, but look at God, right? And I appreciate you all coming. So before I even get into talking about budget, I always really like to start with, I was always just going to be a teacher, okay? I was a teacher, young kid. If you've seen my convocation video, you would know that I was teaching on the porch, on my grandma's porch. And I gathered all the kids in the neighborhood and we sat on the porch. And I would take all my teachers' papers and worksheets, the ones they made too much of. And then I used to get those assignments out. And then I would grade them. And then I would hang them up on these railings that look like this. Hang up. And then I even put some of them on the honor roll and the merit roll. Like, for real. And I just knew that kids were my passion. It's been a journey. I just started out teaching, and I did it well. And then all of a sudden, people are coming into my classroom, and I'm like, why are you coming in my classroom? And they're like, oh, because they need coaching. So I'm like, oh, I might as well go get a certificate to coach and do other things. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I might as well be becoming an assistant principal now because, they're just expanding me. I'm not going to be working for free. I'm just saying. But then, I was a principal of a turnaround school, and I saw in that school what investing in children would do to them. When I came into that school, hot mess, okay? I honestly would call it, and I did call it, Lean On Me Junior. And I would have to walk around with my little plastic blue bat because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna see today, but I would never do anything to a child. But then the pandemic hit, and I brought back the students from the pandemic, and I looked around, and they were sitting around serene. And I'm like, before I even got here, you should have saw me. I had to get order by standing on the cafeteria table. And now I'm looking at my students just sitting around, and I'm like, I can leave this in good faith. Took me on a journey to Rochester. I had 3 promotions in 4 years. And it wasn't because I knew anybody, because guess what? I didn't know anybody. It was from working hard, keeping kids first. I was really protective of my principals, of course, but when you protect your principals, guess what? They protect the teachers protect the kids, all right? That's how it is. And I became superintendent. I didn't eat for a few weeks after I became superintendent because I was like, I don't know if I could do this. That had 22,000 students, 44 or so schools, and the task was hard. But we had just did a reconfiguration. We closed 11 schools seamlessly. Had data to back it up. People were angry because people are attached to their schools. Your school could be in this little area under the table and somebody gonna fight for it. But they understood what we had to do. And it was the calmest it had ever been in the city of Rochester at the start of the school year. Then politics gets in the way. And they chose adults over children. Mount Vernon, I guess my application was in the portal. They was like, you got an interview for Mount Vernon. I said, I didn't apply for that. And then all of a sudden, I'm at the Columbus Diner, and I'm like, okay, so what do you like about Mount Vernon to the waitress? Because that's one of the things I do. I want to ask, what do they like about the community? Because I want to see what it is that I'm going to be living with or who I'm going to be amongst. And she said, I don't really like it here, and I went to school in the Bronx. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be a challenge. I knew it. But I still went, did the interview, was successful. It stopped being an interview, and it was more like a conversation. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And in June, I find myself moving right into Mount Vernon. And I do live in the community. I spend my money in the community. I do rent, but I pay taxes because my rent went up.
That's right.
So I gotta find a way to, one less, I said I went to Burger King today, $17 for a Whopper Jr. with cheese. Well, not a Whopper Jr., Whopper with cheese. But guess what, I just can't go. I have to go one less time. You know what I mean? I just have to go one less time. But I say all that to say that I've always been about the children. You can talk to my mama, my grandmama, my great-grandmama, my aunties, uncles, my sisters. I've always been about the children. I care so deeply for them. Not only that, Mount Vernon's children has made a different type of imprint on me. Because when I go to the schools, you don't hear young adults usually saying, good afternoon, or how are you today? And I tell everybody, you can sense it isn't. Mount Vernon High School is my favorite high school. And it is because I just see that school with so much potential. And they just need somebody to tap into them. And I just was at the Destination College program and talking to our students before I had to jet out, and I was just saying, oh, I remember you from the entrepreneur class. He's like, yo, how you remember me? I was like, because I'm remembering the kids, the students. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And I won't let up. Talking about this budget, so I'm proposing a $275.5 million budget, and that's at a 1.5% tax levy increase. And we're talking on a $555,000 home, $10.98 a month. So you're talking about an extra $120 a year. But let me tell you what's different about this budget. I've been extremely economically efficient this year. That this budget offers way more than what was cut this year. I surveyed the community where over 50% of those that answered were parents or guardians. 1,000 people participated in that survey. They told me what they wanted. All I did was make sure that it aligned with my priorities, which is every child has unlimited potential. Gifted and talented or enrichment programs, absolutely, back in the budget. Making sure that we have strong social emotional supports. I think it's not enough. I want to go to, honestly, one school counselor per elementary school. 0.5 is not enough these days. The children are coming with a variety of needs that are far exceeding what teachers are able to deal with at times. And we have a responsibility to help out. This provides making sure our technology is on point. I ain't never seen nothing crazier when it came to devices until I got here. And I was like, what in the world is going on? I mean, every school you go to, I don't got a device, and I can't use my phone, and I can't do this. And I'm like, this is crazy. So, developing plans and making sure that we swap things out and upgrade, that's what this budget does. And it really continues to enhance career and technical education. That's also something near and dear to my heart. I graduated from a school that was college and career readiness, Hutchinson Central Technical High School in Buffalo. I could have left high school going into a medical facility helping out a doctor, or I could have gone, but I did, I went to college. And I want to see that those opportunities last for the students in Mount Vernon. Now, there's a lot of rhetoric. Thank you. Hello, Justin. Hello, boss. Boss White. A lot of things going on out there, a lot of misinformation. And then I will honestly open the floor and give you time to ask questions, because I feel like, this is the second go round. I'm tapped out from talking about or defending children. You know what I mean? Because that's what it is feeling like. I'm tapped out defending children when we all should be looking out for the children. And it's just difficult. March 29th happened. That's the day that the candidates announced their candidacy for school board, and that was the day I got baptized into Mount Vernon. Because I went from, oh my God, he's doing such a great job, to he's lying about everything. He's not transparent about nothing. And I'm like, what in the world happened? What happened? I literally could not be more transparent than I am. Folks, I scream to the wolves every time I encounter a problem, because I'm like, y'all ain't getting me messed up. You're not getting me messed up. I'm not going to get in trouble for nobody's mess that I inherited. If anything, I just continue to clean things up. And not only that, I do it with grace, and I do it without disrespecting anyone that came before us. So I don't talk about previous board. You know why? First of all, it would be disrespectful for me. They hired me. I'm pushing forward. I have to push forward. And then it's about children. So again, 1.5% tax increase. It benefits athletics, extracurriculars, okay? I honestly want to expand modified sports and programs. I was sad to hear that we don't have like a major field day where like kids do track and field events. Like we would bring all of our kiddos together and have this major program at the end of the year. We don't even do that. You know why? Because we don't got no money for buses. We can't even pick them up. We have to make them walk there. People are doing field days in parks, and I just found out the Williams team took their kid to Brush Park, took them babies. That's way on the south. I just drove today to figure out how long that actually took, because we can't even provide buses. And what if the baby would have fell out? Then people, Strickland, then made the baby fall out. Like, no. But those are the things, like, that would never happen in a Bronxville. That would never happen in White Plains. Why does it have to happen here? That wouldn't even happen in Rochester. And that wouldn't happen in Buffalo. I always made a way. But when you make a way and you stand up for children, it's a problem. It's a problem. Counseling, as I said, I really want to expand. 1 counselor per school. I can't do that right now until I really fan out the budget, because I don't have position control. So that means year after year, the same staff was rolling over. And then what happens is, instead of saying, okay, I don't need that position, so I'm going to replace it with this position, they just added more positions and then hired someone for that other position. So now you have a bloated staff, a bloated workforce. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at what has been vacant for 499 days that I can turn it into something that I need so that we don't continue to just add positions. I've been making sure that I do that. Safety and security. I would hate to cut our security officers. I would hate to compromise safety, especially in this day and age. Sorry, folks are nuts. And I'm gonna be honest, from May 29th until the budget vote, I might have to get detail next year because this is nuts. Because you just don't know what's coming at you. And you know, but again, we can't afford to have no cuts. Some school districts have SROs. I'd rather have school safety officers, personally. And those SROs cost way more money. You know, we're investing in safety. I told you about technology. It will not be the way it was this year. We are really having a plan that's going to re-image devices, making sure that every student has their device day one, a working device. That takes money. That costs. Gifted and talented popped up on the survey. I told you, I listened to the parents. They said, every time I would go somewhere, you bringing back the gifted and talented program? I'll say, y'all had a gifted and talented program? I didn't know. And I was like, well, I mean, I guess so. I mean, we'll see. And then I put out the survey to where 50% of families answered, and that rose to the top. So I said, okay, we got to put it back in there. That's 8 teachers. 8 teachers that we are going to have next year when this budget passes. Bilingual education. You know, I'm not trying to get religious, but I do sometimes. You know when you don't know why God put you somewhere, and you're like, what in the world? So my first school where I was an assistant principal, the little kid came up to me and was like, Espanol? And I was like, what? He spoke Spanish. From that point on, I was assistant principal at A La Escuela 30, which is school 30. And that, I was there for a reason. That school taught me that you can tell what good teaching is no matter what language it's in. You know when a teacher's inspiring, engaging, no matter what language it's in. I became very, very engrossed in Part 154 regulations, only to find out that when I was deputy superintendent, I was going to have to be the supervisor of the bilingual education and world languages. Only to find out when I come to Mount Vernon, we don't have an actual bilingual program. We have more than 20 students across each grade level in throughout the district that have the right to be offered a bilingual education program. Yet we are not giving them that right. We are not worrying about them being bicultural and biliterate. We're just trying to take their language away from them and say, here's the English. Well, guess what? You don't learn English as easy as you can if you don't know your own language. So I'm working to get that in compliance where we're starting one level at a time. And now I think I have to do something for the high school, because on the morning of power outage at the high school, I see a group of students, they were speaking Spanish, and then I was just thinking, like, I haven't seen one bilingual teacher here. So now I have to think about how am I going to service the high schoolers' needs? Because that means the L's are definitely going to fall behind when they get to the high school. So I have to find a way to get something going for our high school and start at the kindergarten level. And then finally, we're expanding our career and technical education program. We have 2 programs that are not official with New York State Education Department. We do have a lot of potential to continue to expand. Denzel Washington has at least 2 of their programs that could be pathways. We are, for the first time in years, going to be recipients of the Perkins Grant, which means that we can now start really gaining momentum as it pertains to upping the ante with getting our students college and career ready. Now, what's at stake? Could be a lot of things. I haven't gotten in the room with my team and really said, this is what's going. I want to take out the assumptions. One, I would never dangle athletics and say, hey, I'm going to cut athletics. No, people have to understand that is one of the non-mandated items that I must look at. The mayor had brought up special education. Guess what? I can't touch special education. I'm not supposed to touch bilingual education because those are mandated. Yet we still, hello, hey, Ms. Crawford. How you doing? How you doing? I am mandated to keep special education services. I'm not mandated to keep gifted and talented programs, which parents ask me to keep or reinstate. Thank you. I'm sweating like bullets. Y'all just looking at me. Sorry, I do have a sense of humor too. One of the bigger ones is that we really do have a great partnership with a lot of different organizations, not just with the city, but we're talking with YCOP, we're talking with some churches, we're talking organizations that don't have the space to gather, and we offer those. You gotta be careful.
Is it that long?
No.
Oscar. I think I pulled it out too far.
I know.
Okay, go on.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Ms. Crump, I hope you didn't pick that up. Oh, what I see over there. A lot of different. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. A lot of organizations lean on us, the school district, to offer our facilities for their usage. Many times they come to us, I hope you ain't gonna charge us that much. That's the first thing that comes out of their mouth. Well, guess what? We go contingency. You can't use nothing without paying full price. Full price. That's why we are delayed right now with some of the programs that we want to put out there for this summer because we don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday. I don't want to make no promises to nobody. And that hurts my heart because now parents have to get flustered and not know what they're going to do for their children in the summer. Other programmatic cuts. After school has to go. You know why? Because I need to probably supplement the title funds to save employees to provide services for children. Okay? So I wanted to be very specific so that people understand, well, why after school? You don't have to cut. Yes, it would have to save employees so that we can provide mandated services throughout the school day. The expansion at the career and technical education would have to be halted. So we're on the road in terms of getting the 2 CTE programs certified, which means more eligibility for Perkins money. That's just mandatory. It just comes in. All we do is have to do the application and it comes. Staffing reduction, that's the one I would try to touch last. Just being perfectly honest. I don't necessarily know if I would have to do 5%, just to be honest. But I do know that I would have to do a percentage and it would have to be across the board. And that means, just an FYI, the bargaining unit that would be most affected would be administrators, because they are the smallest bargaining unit. And I'm gonna just tell you this. I mean, me and my team, thank you, Dr. Dogger, for being here. I've already been doing about 3 jobs. So I've been saving us money and overextending myself, because I know how critical it is to be an agent of positive change and holding on to money. And I know I can do it, but I can't do it forever. So I would just be, guess what? I'm gonna keep on working. I wouldn't fill those positions. And then what you gonna do? You gonna burn me out. And then I'm done. And I would hate to do that. You know what I mean? I have to make choices about my health before anything. And I'm a big baby. If my stomach hurt, I'm going to the doctor. Okay? I get a splinter, I'm going to probably Miss Brown's house to come get it out. You know, because my mom ain't here. But I'm one of those people. But I can only do it for so long. And this was a year that I would sacrifice that, because I have the energy. I see the excitement. What makes it even better, going into these schools every single week and seeing our respectful students, which commonly get labeled as misguided or bad or all the bad words in known to man. Yup, I go to McDonald's right on Gramerton. Same kid, I'm like, what you doing here? Go on, take your butt home. And guess what? Oh, you right, sir. You know, they saying the N-word in school. I'm like, huh. Oh, I'm sorry. They sometimes don't even really know, but they can feel that I cared enough to say something to them. Then finally, we have contracts that have not been negotiated, okay, that are out. We are not competitive as a city school district, folks. I am worried that one of my schools won't have a principal. You know why? Because his district paid him $199,000. And he was only in education for like 7 years, not even. Yes, that's what's happening in our region. And I can't compete with that. So we have to, at the very least, stay current with our contracts. We got the teachers done, and it's still not enough for me. What we had to do, that's still not enough for me. I would love to throw in like a retention bonus. Like that's the kind of stuff I like to do. I'm gonna make it worth it to stay here in Mount Vernon. We lost some very, very, very fantastic teachers this year. Very fantastic teachers. And you know why I know that? Because I did exit interviews with all of them that requested it, and they told me why. You know what the funny thing is? Unfortunately, they didn't leave for money. They left because of the district's culture. The district's culture. Now, who is responsible for setting the district culture? Me. I'm trying to be transparent. I can't be no more transparent. I said it last night, I'll say it again. I watched many board meetings, and again, I'm looking forward. And I said, I ain't hear about no financial report ever. Meanwhile, I've done financial reports since November. Hell, I did the budget presentation. Yes, I do have a certificate in school business and human resource management, so don't think I'm like crazy. But just, I don't know what else to say other than there's a new cartoon today that I want to address. It's a cartoon. And honestly, I'm not fazed because I went to church on Sunday. Thank you, Reverend Morton. Reverend Dr. Morton, great service. Dr. Pogue, fantastic service. And the Live Church, Miss Mack, Mrs. Mack's husband, because she's a teacher in the district. But fantastic messages, and they were all hitting home that foolery that I saw today doesn't even affect me. Demario Strickland did not spend no daggone $25,000 on no office supplies. I was like, what in the world? I've done doubled it. I didn't spend $25,000. Y'all, I had to get a desk that stands up. You know why? Because I have bad sciatica. Usually, just an FYI, workplaces have to pay for your accommodations. Okay? Come on in. Give it up for Natasha Hunter McGregor. She's retiring, unfortunately. But thank you for being here. But I had to get a new desk. I kept bumping my knee on the table that they had, so I got a smaller one with little legs. Can't even fit people at it. PTA been in my office because I meet with them on a regular to make sure they know that parents' voices are heard. That's gone to the high school, just repurposed. And then I kept all of the darn supplies that were already in that office. You hear me? I kept all of the supplies that were in that office. I just bought a desk that made it look like whoever that superintendent was that got the big armoire and the drawers. And I was like, I'm not going to spend no money on this. Don't got no couch. Had a couch in my last one. But I was like, I ain't getting no couch, What else? Spent $10,000 on a speaker. That's a lie. But folks, the budget is a budget. You have allocations. Everyone, it's very common for the first day of school for people to bring in motivational speakers. And I've already started pulling up the records. Even though I'm moving forward, the $7,000 that we've spent for someone who's extremely renowned, who principals needed to hear his message because I told you what I told you about why people were leaving. So I needed him to hit these. 7,000. People in the past? Yep. I heard y'all had Wendy Williams coming. And the Isley brothers. Get out of here. Please. Okay? The Isley brothers? My mom loved them. My mom loved them. Okay?
The good old days.
And I was like, Wendy Williams? Wendy? The one that she goes co-host? Please. But every school district, it is not uncommon. And I don't want people to think that going to conferences are uncommon. It's your professional development. How do you think we get better? I've sacrificed this year because I'm like, well, I need to go to this conference that's really going to help me with school finances. But guess what? I don't want somebody to be like, oh, he went to a conference.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, though? We're making things that are common seem uncommon. What else they say? What else? 20,000 for food. No, I'll see it. 20,000 for food, absolutely insane. Again, though, it's not uncommon for you to offer a light refreshment for all of your staff after they've endured a reconfiguration that shook everything up, and I just wanted to say thank you with a piece of fruit and a muffin, and I had to nerd away for coffee. Come on, why is that uncommon? You come to my office, I'm going to offer you some coffee that I bought. When last year, guess what? That was just purchased out of the A fund. But we're making things that are common seem uncommon. Just like getting a bus for kids to go to field day for a field trip. We have to choose better. I want my kids to get the same thing, if not everything, that every kid in Westchester County and New York City gets.
That's right.
Why can't that be our students? And last but not least, I am officially done. Hey, I am officially done spending my time fighting and arguing with people that don't even have children in the district. I would rather fight a parent, go back and forth with a parent that is passionate about their child, and they could be dead wrong, but guess what? They have the right. These other people that are trying to take my time, I can't and I won't. Especially when you're loud and wrong. And guess what, y'all? The sky is red. Yup, it is red. And then 50 lights. What? What is this world coming to? But anyhow, anything else I forgot on that cartoon? It's a nice picture of me though. Very nice. I was like, all right. I was like, blue. It was like blue. Yes.
Yeah,
But I was still
like
very
that picture
frustrated.
Too. It's the party of Diane's house. I like that picture.
I did, and I was just like, okay. But guess what? I did multiple sessions all over the place. Yeah, you ready for the real talk? There's more people here. We advertised, we live streamed. I even the one at Hamilton took twice as long because I had to wait for the interpreters. So we answered Spanish-speaking families. I've always answered people that would type in the chat. That was the other thing. Why did we take off comments on some of the budget ones? Because they were attacking people personally. And that's, I won't stand. Okay,
You want to take questions?
That's Miss
now?
Cox.
You want to take
See,
questions?
you stayed a long time. You could have brought me a plate. Yes, I'm here for it. I will take any of your questions. No question is a hard question. If I don't have the answer, what I would do is, can you just take notes? So I make sure I get back to the questions. I promise you, I will get the answer. All right? I'm going to take this out. You got a question? Oh, okay. The green looks nice. This is nice. Okay, yes. Ms. Crenshaw, and then please say your name. Miss who? Miss Kimberly. Miss Kimberly. Yes.
Okay. On the 16th.
Yes.
We had set up the senior proposal.
So,
I had announced it in my church. Okay, I was doing for Mount Zion.
Originally, I had met with the Youth Bureau, and they were going to offer to do it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they cannot. So what I am doing is going to ask pastors and folks that have vehicles to actually help support getting individuals to the polling sites. Yes, but thank you for that question. Yes, especially the seniors. And just an FYI, when I make decisions about like raising taxes and things like that, which this is the craziest stuff I've ever seen. Like all I needed was 5 board members or 4 out of 7 to vote yes, and I was good. And I had a 5 too. This is some new wave stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. But I have a great grandmother that I'm close with. You think I would want her to have to pay more when her Social Security doesn't go up? You think I don't know that? But guess what? Because you know how community does, I would say, here, Grandma, I'll get the eggs this month. Hey, Grandma, I'm going to stop by. I got some groceries. Those are the things we do to help each other out in order or for the sake of the babies, for the kids. Yes, Ms. Kibbley.
I have a comment I wanted to tell you and others. Most people here know that my youngest daughter is a product of Mount Vernon school system.
Yes.
She went to elementary school, she went to middle school, she went to Mount Vernon High, she went to Howard University on a full scholarship. She went to New York Law School on a full ride. And she just graduated from New York Law School in July.
That's
So I
awesome.
just want to let everybody know that this education system works. It works. So my family is an example of it. I'm from the Bronx originally, but I made my home here in Mount Vernon. I'm a homeowner. I'm here in the community. We're serving. A lot of my caucus sisters are here, and I just want to let you know about my own personal story as a personal citizen, someone who pays taxes here, who's a homeowner. I am here for it, and I wanted to let you know the benefits personally that my youngest daughter has gotten from this school system. So I just wanted to know.
I appreciate that, and congratulations. And that's a testament to you. And I say this,
Our community.
and the community. There's a story. I went to a conference, not this year, last year. I went to a conference, and a gentleman by the name of Ken Williams said, all you need is 2 good teachers in a row, and it will change the trajectory of a child's life forever. Remember, I told you I sat at the Columbus Diner, and I heard what that young lady waitress said about Mount Vernon. And I was like, oh, I'm in for one. I'm in for one. I told this story. Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm in for one. Yep, I already said it. But then I started asking around, and I heard Mount Vernon used to be one of the best school systems in New York State, if not the Northeast. I got to bring that back. You know I can't get shown up because it's for the children. And I love hearing those stories because that's a testament to what they can do. That is a testament to what they can do. More questions?
I had 3 children who went through the Mount Vernon system, and they're all doing extremely well, from business to law, etc. But that's not what I have to ask you. I spent time yesterday with the ones that are coming in on the board, the ones that said vote down the
Yes.
budget, because I wanted to really understand where they're coming from, because it didn't make any sense. I'm saying you vote no on the budget. Well, what are you going to put in its place? Or what do you want to cut? Since you're saying you don't have to cut sports, you don't have to cut this. And they couldn't come up with a reasonable answer. So you know, they said hire a grant writer. But what money? You just said
No. So the funny thing is, we got somebody already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got somebody, and guess what? Straighten up all of our title stuff.
Yes.
The first time, this is going to be the first year our IDEA application is going to be on time for students with disabilities. You hear that? And guess what? I'm just letting you all know, I just found out how much COVID money I gave back. Over millions and millions. Guess how much the grant writer or the grant person I brought in, guess how much they gave back? $1. $1. We have individuals that first, before we take on more money, we have to make sure the money that we have is being allocated appropriately. You can't just say, let's go write more grants, because then that money comes in and then you don't know what you're doing with it. And then guess what? The end of the fiscal year comes and you got to give it back. We have to maximize the title dollars, which is a very small amount that I was hearing was just going back into the the state and the feds. So we're getting that together.
Okay.
But-
because you have 2 that will try. Well, but you're prepared. You
No,
sound like
but you know
you're
what?
prepared for that.
Here's the thing. Again, I'm moving forward. I will work with anyone, long as they remind themselves I'm about the children. Because that's what it's about. Every single trustee that's here, they know it's about the children. It's about the children. When I make decisions, it's about the children.
I just have one other follow-up question.
Yes.
You talked about if the budget passed.
When?
When the budget passed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't. Forgive
No,
me.
you're right.
You know, I'm very respectful.
When the budget passed, you said you wanted to make a number of positions. What are you thinking?
So I'm not creating not near one new position. There's positions in this budget that people like. We don't have what is called position control. Okay, so what that means is basically You know how many positions exist in a department. You know how many positions exist in a school. You know how many positions exist here, exist there. We have no rhyme or reason right now knowing where people are, technically. It's kind of chaotic. And I've told you year after year, what's been happening is simply a rollover budget. So if you have whatever you have this year, you have the same thing next year. And instead of saying some of these positions need to go, positions were just simply added. What I'm saying is I'm currently almost finished with position control to better manage the finances. If I find that this position has been vacant for a certain amount of time, I'm going to take that position because somebody's been doing that job, obviously, and I'm going to use it for something else because that's what being fiscally responsible is. And you know what? It's going to keep happening. This year, we're going to be walking around in schools. Myself, my teammate in the back, Dr. Doggett, wave to everybody. Yes, Dr. Doggett. We're going to be going into schools. You know, if we have to collapse classes, we have to collapse classes. You know, because we have to be fiscally responsible. We must be fiscally responsible. So, no new positions. Even the director of bilingual education and world languages that we're about to hire, which the academic plan said we must hire, which I was already a fan of because I knew we didn't have a bilingual program. That was like 1.5 positions that became that position. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a new position. Oh, that was the other thing. $26 million from the fund balance. Listen, Mount Vernon, I just got news for you. You only have, when I came in, $1.5 million in your fund balance. Cash on hand is the number they keep using, which was $26 million. It costs me $10 million to each payroll cycle to pay adults, to pay the staff. I don't know why they're conflating the two. It's just insane. Okay? They're saying I took $26 million from the fund balance. First of all, we can't even have $26 million in the fund balance. It's only 4% of what your total budget is. And you can get a little extra with some restricted reserves. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And then we explained it last night. Lord help me. It was a PowerPoint. For the first time, and this is the issue, because when I came in, I said, give me all the financial reports. I'm looking at the financial reports. I see negative 5,000, negative 7,000. I was like, what in the world is this? At least twice a year, if not quarterly, you should be consistently reconciliating your budget. You have to move fundings around to not have negative budget lines.
That's right.
That is good accounting practices. Unfortunately, that was not done. But guess what? I'm not blaming anyone. You know why? Because I have to move forward. I don't have time. I just have to do the right thing. So what we did was we were being transparent. And we were saying, here's all the lines that we need to move money. Over $26 million need to be moved to make sure all the lines are rectified. Next year, we probably got to do it 4 times. And that's actually the better practice. So I was like, well, maybe people are just ain't used to it. But yep, confirmation. I told you, I ain't never seen no financial reports in the meetings. And again, that's something I just knew I had to do. You must be transparent with the money. That's why superintendents get removed. They don't get removed because people don't like them. They get removed because of money and sleeping with somebody. And I ain't doing neither one of them. You understand? I'm sorry, I'm just keeping it real ministries. That's one of the churches I go to during the week. Other questions? I love your questions. Diane, I'm just so grateful for you for hosting this, really. Give Diane another round. Sorry.
if you don't mind, to ask our controller, because they make it him seem like he's a debt collector and all this other kind of stuff, or he's not paying the bill. I just get up and just tell him they keep pounding on him to say that the city is not paying their bill to the Board of Ed, and he keeps trying to explain, but I don't know what happens.
No, I think, well, Comptroller, he had a long day. He worked for the city. No, but listen.
He has to come and say something.
Comptroller, just do me this favor. Did I say anything that was incorrect? No. Okay, just making sure. So I have my school business and human resource management certificate as well.
And also, Dr. Strickland, I know a big thing out there is that, the city stopped payments in September.
Right.
That was the end of the payment agreement from the city. The city of Mount Vernon has still given us payments past September. So that also is not true.
Yes.
Okay?
That's the kind of stuff
I've
I'm
actually
talking about,
collected,
yes.
like I've actually touched the checks. Okay? I've seen the tax folks go give me the checks that the comptroller's office brought in. They're not big like the other one. It's just whatever they got for that moment in time. That month.
So yeah, I mean, I'll just
Yeah, you might as well.
Here's the reality.
Yeah, come on.
Take time.
Just give me
So,
2
I
seconds
did-
to sit.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, brother.
I did come just to listen to the superintendent, but Diane does what Diane does. So there's nothing that the superintendent said that is not true. And then all of the discussion around the monies that are due to the school district, right, are all related to the New York State Real Property Tax Law 1332, which has a make whole a regulation, which means that this, in order to ensure that you are educating children, to try to ensure that whatever is in the budget, that they are guaranteed to receive, right, in a timely fashion. And so the city, myself, as the city tax enforcer, becomes responsible for going after those taxes that are not paid. So there was some issues with the former comptroller. There was an agreement in which unfortunately the school district had to take the city to court for. And then underneath of my administration, we actually went into an agreement. That agreement ended in September of 2025. $13.8 million paid to the school district, in which the school district themselves have even put up on the website verification that that had been paid. So then October up until January, there were no payments that actually had gone to the school district because we were in a period of two things happening. One, we had started to do a reconciliation, and two, there were some changes in staffing that was happening, right, in that. But we were collecting the money on a monthly basis for the years after the payment, after the period of the payment plan, which is the fiscal years in which the school district started to collect their taxes. Fiscal year 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, right? We were receiving that money from the taxpayers. And then in January, February, and March, there were payments that were issued to the school district for everything we had collected, actually from May all the way up until March, to make sure that we then also issued out to the school district all the payments that had been received from taxpayers for those years, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, which then brought us all up to date. Now, the fiscal year of 21 and 22, right, the ending period of that 2-year period of collection in which the school district and the city are collecting the taxes, came to an end in May of 2025. It took us longer to reconcile that because this was the first time that we had been doing this, right? One, we had 2 offices taking money, taxes. We needed to try to figure out how to reconcile that. and also make sure that it was accurate. So yeah, it took us longer. It did take us a whole year to get that done because of a number of things. Again, the complexity of it, the new system, and also there was changes in staffing that also occurred. So in April 29th of 2026, we then met, we finalized the reconciliation and certified that there was $5.4 million due. That now is in the make whole period owed to the school district, right?
Yes.
We also then decided that same day that on the following day, April 30th, we would end the collection for the 2023 period and move into a reconciliation. So the $3 million that is listed out there for 2023 is not yet due to the school district until we complete the reconciliation and the certification of it. So what's due to the school district is $5.4 million, right? All the other years, which is 2024 and 2025, is still in the collection period. 2024 will become due in October of this year, and 2025 will become due in April of 2027. What are we doing about the $5.4 million? We are right now finalizing the agreement as we have done in the past. The only difference this time is we're not going to court to do it because it's going to spend more money for us to go to court to do it. We are actually having the attorneys for both the entities are working on that agreement, which we anticipate will be completed by the end of this month so that payments can resume for the 2021 and 2022 years on that $5.4 million. That's what's happening. Now, you heard the superintendent talk about cash basis because of fund balance. Well, it's the same thing with the city. The city is on a cash basis. So therefore, everybody says, well, why don't you budget for the $5.4 million? That would be double taxing the taxpayers. We can't put $5.4 million in the city's budget that's already on school district taxes, because that would be double taxing people for things that we had already taxed them for. So that's it. So at the end of the day, the school district and the city are working together. The city is doing what the city can do to pay the school district what they are legally owed by the make whole law, right? The unfortunate thing is we don't have a fund balance for us to go get that out of the bank and give it straight to the school district. And so that's why it has to be a payment plan.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you that I'm very strategic in that we also have a letter of understanding so that that stop period won't ever happen again. Unfortunately, I just, again, I was 3 months in, we collect taxes. Before I get to Ms. Crump, just want to acknowledge formally 4 of 9 of my bosses. They're like my big siblings. They just boss me around. Trustee Sakai Brown. Please clap for them.
Yes.
Okay, my evaluation's coming up. Trustee Randolph Scott. Trustee Erica Peterson. And Trustee Warren Mitchell, who I hope he doesn't stay away from me too long. All right. Miss Crump?
Yes, when you came and I met you, I said to you, and I thank you for your transparency,
Yes.
but I said to you, it's not about pointing fingers. It's
Correct.
about truth. It's
Correct.
about facts.
Yes.
And this community needs to know, I said to you, make sure you tell us where we are now. When you come in, tell us what you see. Tell us what's here. And then tell us where we need to go and tell us how we're going to get there. So when you tell the community, I watched the board meeting and heard you say that out of the funds now, you paid bills from 2022 that had not been paid.
Yes.
The community needs to know that Because the money that we have now, even in our homes, if we have money in our checking and we're paying bills from 2022 when we have bills that are due in 2026, that's going to cause a financial problem.
That is correct.
So continue to be honest,
Yes.
straightforward with the facts. So when
Yes.
you're speaking with the facts, then you're not talking about anybody.
Yes.
You're not downing anybody
Yes.
because you're doing it in a respectful way.
And I'm always
But
going
the
to be
community
respectful.
needs to know what's happening, where we are, what
Yes.
you walked into, because they think it's roses. Some of them, those who were there, they know it's not roses.
Yes.
But you need to let the community know what you see, where we are, where we need to go, and how we're going to get there.
Absolutely. So what Ms. Crump just said is not a lie. I mean, I think 1 month in, I got hit with an email from New York State. And, you know, when you get emails from New York State, that's like dun dun dun, like one of those sounds. And it said, your 2024-2025 C fund, which is the lunch fund budget, was overdrawn $957,000. I said, what? I said, like, huh? Okay, so that's $1 million. That's $1 million that I had to then move over from general funds to make that account whole. Then only to hear that they said that they was giving back money. I don't know what that's all about because I wasn't here. But that's just one example. I can get hit with a $38,000 bill. Parents email me, Dr. Strickland, the elevator at this school ain't working for 4 weeks and it's unacceptable. Well, first of all, your elevator is old. It should have been replaced. Second of all, vendors don't like working with Mount Vernon. You know why? Because we don't pay bills.
That's right.
So I gotta beg and plead for sympathy. Yes, Temptations. One of my favorite movies. I have to beg and plead to get them to come in to fix it. I have to tell them good lies, and I'm not a good liar. I'll be like, listen, I got a baby that hurt his leg and he can't walk. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to say stuff like that. But I got to do it because I know I have elderly adults that need the elevator and can't walk up 5 flights. We did that. And guess what? You hear me? I said we did that because I own it. I know that when we weren't able to make a vendor payment, the first thing I said we have to do is let our vendors know that there's an issue with the cash flow so that they are in the know that we are going to pay them. Why? Because we want to keep positive relationships with the vendors. Because they don't mind if you a month late sometimes. They'll work with you because they need you, they want your business. But it happens all the time. And unfortunately, we're trying to come up with systems to really attack that. Another misconception, and then I'm going to go to Trustee Mr. Mitchell, I'll call you Mr. Mitchell outside, is that, what was that? There was another misconception. Lord, it's been a long day. There's so many misconceptions, you just start like living, like where in the hell am I living? There was another misconception, and it's going to come back. It's going to come back. Central office, I'm just letting you heard it from me. Please don't pass that notion that central office is bloated. I told you right now, my title, honestly, Superintendent of Schools, Business, Accountability, Facilities. I do all of that. Dr. Strickland, that's me. Our staff, and I know it, you know why? Because I walk around and I check on everybody, making sure they feel good, hearing their gripes, hearing their happiness, and they tell me how overextended. I have an employee that's here that don't even have a secretary, and I got to lend mine to help her to do her work. because I can't put something else on people that's already doing multiple jobs and then failing at that. So I just want to put that out there again. In my administration, we are not making what these area other folk are making. That's why people are not coming. I really want you to know that. And I'm not saying, listen, again, I'm grateful, but we have to invest in something. Okay, we do. Perkins.
We cannot hear you, so maybe you should come up to the mic, please. Thank you.
You mentioned the Perkins grant.
Yes.
That's related to the CTE, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's not a new grant. It wasn't just invented. Can you speak to the last time you know this district having gotten that grant and any reason why just now we just got it?
I know it was way before my time. So whenever your CTE programs went defunct and you must have started trying to send students to BOCES to participate in those programs, you officially annihilated your CTE program. Because CTE programs, if it relies on the Perkins grant, but if you lose that Perkins grant, then you have to rely on your District A funds, which is your taxes, and it is extremely expensive to keep that going. So now, with the fact that BOCES can't even service our students, well, remember, we're not normal sometimes. If I want to send kids to BOCES on a bus, people are going to say something about it, even though they're going to get an experience. But BOCES can't take our children, meaning we need to do stuff in-house. So we've had a director of CTE that started building program after program, started getting them certified, and now we have enough students that are enrolled to now qualify for the Perkins grant. Again.
We just lost that director.
Yes, we did. We lost that director, and just between me and you and the sky, he getting an $85,000 raise. You know I can't compete with that. More questions?
Does the Perkins grant, does that have something to do with training and stuff?
Perkins grant can be for training, it can be for professional development, it can be for, and then again, you want to start alleviating your A fund, which is the general fund, with those grants, moving, if I can say, okay, Atkins, I'm at your house and you're about to tear me up. Ms. Atkins, 0.5 of your salary is going to come from the general fund, and 0.5 of your salary can come from the Perkins fund. It alleviates the money in your general fund. And what happens is, as you go throughout the year, you are then able to save that money and start building your fund balance. Okay? That's the goal too. I said we have 1.5 million. We are allowed to have 11 million. And honestly speaking, we don't know what that dude is going to do in the White House building ballrooms. And I'm clenching my fist and crossing my fingers all the time, praying that we don't have any emergencies in any of our buildings. Because guess what? There goes all of our reserves. I'm not bragging. My previous district, I came in and was like, oh, I balanced a $1.1 billion budget without without borrowing anything from the fund balance. Left that district with $285 million in the bank. Only to find out from one of the old trustees that keep in contact with me that I ended up saving that district an extra $24 million or $27 million. It's now $312 million from being fiscally responsible. why that can't happen for Mount Vernon. It should. It needs to. We need to get our credit rating.
Yes.
Our buildings are dilapidated. Our teachers teach, and they come in every single day, and I can keep saying this, they come and teach. I've been in classrooms. Mr. Green read to his scholars, loved it. Teaching their behinds off, and the facility looks awful. I wish I could show you pictures of what I came from, and those teachers were not teaching, y'all. They was sitting just like y'all sitting, telling them to get behind the computer. I'm telling you, we have to do better. That's a safety concern. But I guess people want me to stay silent. I mean, I'm just saying, you said, be honest, the buildings are deplorable. If we fix the buildings up, guess what happens? Your property value go up, yours go up, yours go up. Oh, you don't got no kids? Well, guess what? Your generational wealth will go up. You can pass it on to somebody, and it's more than what you got it for.
Morale in the building goes up.
Exactly. Oh, ready for this? Now people start moving in because your schools are bomb. You know what I mean? People don't understand that part. People don't understand that part. That's another thing. This south side, north side stuff got to go. Drives me nuts. Everybody need love. I know it is the truth. It is the truth. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. Because guess what? The teaching, just as good, if not better. I could say that. Why? Because I've been in the buildings. Just as good, if not better. Other questions?
Comment.
Yes.
Hi.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kenya Miller, founder and executive director of Intellectus Preparatory Charter School. And the reason why I named that is because I want to make sure that I'm very clear about something. Charter schools, and I won't speak for them all, I'm going to speak specifically for mine and what I represent and the kids and children that I represent. First and foremost, we need the district. I think for too long there has been this back and forth of us versus them. I am also extremely mindful and thoughtful even about how we advertise, that we don't downplay the district, that we don't speak against the district, that we do not set ourselves as against, better than, in any form or fashion than the district. The reason why this conversation is important to me is because we actually pay taxes. Many people assume that we don't and would not know. So I have a vested interest because this vote also impacts the work that we do and impacts our overhead. And so ultimately, as we are too taxpayers, not just for city taxes, but school taxes, I want to go on record as a charter school leader here in Mount Vernon to say that we support this. I hope you posted this video. We support this because, for a lot of reasons, our kids are not different than their neighbors. The parents that choose us for their reasons. But most importantly, when our kids leave our building, our kids are with all the other kids of Mount Vernon. In addition to that, we are getting students in grade 6, which means that we need to support and make sure that the work that's being done and that the teachers who are in the district are able to do the really hard work of educating those babies and making sure that they have a really strong start by the time that they get to us, if that's what they choose. I mean, lastly, it doesn't matter whether or not, we are, separate and apart, a different choice, so on and so forth. The truth of the matter is, we couldn't educate all the kids in our building even if we wanted to. No one building could do that. And so this work is collective. It impacts us. We have kids that leave our school and go back to the district as well. And so we want to make sure that wherever they're going, wherever they're coming from, that there still is a level of continuity. I'm going on record again to just say to you personally, Dr. Strickland, I understand the plight of superintendent work. I'm in it right alongside you, and we are supporters. Intellectus, I will say that. I can only speak for one charter school, but Intellectus is a supporter of Mount Vernon City School District, and we will continue to be that, and we will continue to stand on that. So thank you.
I do want to clarify some. Thank you, Ms. Miller. I really do appreciate that. So, I used to teach in a charter school in Harlem. It's not my choice now. You know what I mean? I've gone a different way, but only because of policy. Okay, because I do believe in the parents' right to choose what's best. But the policy is what caused me to say no. True public education. We are not fighting against charters. We're saying if you're allowing charters to be here, then fund them. Fund them for the amount of students that they have. Instead, what happens is, how many students do you have?
100
So
from Mount Vernon.
there are 100 students from Mount Vernon that are at Intellectus, yet we only get funding for the amount of students that are in my district. So if we have 6,500, we only get funding for 6,500 students. We don't get funding for 6,600 students. That's why there's an issue with, I gotta give away 17 million that before I even get it. It's not a problem. I'm saying, if you want a charter, fine by me. It's your choice. My mom had a choice. But New York State, fund them, and it should not have to come from our budget. Fund them appropriately. That's all. Up front.
Right, because it's
That's it.
reimbursement.
So even if you see my budget presentations, because I did about 11 of them, they start my change. I started changing how I was communicating that because I did not want to seem adversarial.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear. At first, I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to jab it in. Like they taking all our money." No, I did not want to seem adversarial, and it really is. The messaging is fund them appropriately, but it should not have to come from my budget. You know, that's that.
One other question.
Sure, I like your question. Yeah, go ahead with your Crocs. Heard that. Oh, all right. Former trustee. All right. See?
And on BOCES board for years,
Oh, okay.
decades.
I'm from Westchester Putnam School Board Association.
All right. Gee.
Okay, my question, and I know that you'll address it in time.
Yes.
I was coming from my church,
Yes.
Grace Baptist Church, and I made the mistake of, I walk a lot. So the children were dismissed, and they were all at McDonald's.
Yeah.
They had to lock them out. They had to call the police. I have never seen this in my life. All the years I've been here.
Yeah.
So, and they were throwing garbage. They were fighting, girls fighting. How are we going to get across the message? This is not how we conduct ourselves.
So, I love that. It's two-way. If I could, legally, contractually, I would love to pay my administrators, my security officers to go in front of that McDonald's and really help support making sure that they get home. I can't. So it kind of becomes a city issue. Unfortunately, we still do it sometimes. And it's just very difficult. That's why we have to consistently teach our students how they are to behave when they're not even around us. And that's hard work. But I love that you said that question, because imagine if the budget don't pass. You think McDonald's bad now? I might as well kiss my chicken nuggets goodbye, because I ain't gonna be able to get in there. But that's the reality, and we have to continue to do a better job at engaging our youth.
It doesn't happen any other place.
But you know what's funny? Like most of them are going there to go get something to eat. We just need to teach them that after you eat, you throw it in the trash. You know what I mean? Most of the students don't want to fight. The fight happens the minute the adult arrives. You know why? Because they know and they want someone to break it up. That's like child psychology 101. Girls' fights are the worst.
They sure are.
I just can't handle it. You get on my nerves. Okay? Girls' fights are the worst. So if a whole bunch of boys are around or whatever, that engages them more. Like, you just know that that's what happens. But it's a dual responsibility between the city and between Mount Vernon. I try to do my best to drive by. Our director of security, Ms. Coates, tries to do her best to drive by. We'll be driving in circles, and she's like, we got to go over here. I'm like, I got a meeting. But we got to make sure that the children are safe. But then that's where the families come in. Put some safeguards in place for your kids. You better be home right after school. I remember I was on a school bus coming from school. I done took my quarter, okay? My quarter, Mom. Went to the store, the corner store, got one of them orange icicles, crossed the street, walked down to my house, and saw that my mom was not at work that day. And I chucked that orange sickle, and she said, "Where was you?" I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." The bus, meanwhile, done gone 5 minutes. I'm sitting here, that's why I told you I ain't a good liar. I got to that house and got my butt whooped, okay? To this day, I don't eat orange sickles. That's a true story. That is a true story. True story. But I'm just saying, like, my mom had an expectation. She said, after you're behind, get off that bus, you better go straight home.
Y'all don't use street lights no more?
No, it's a school night. School night, you ain't going outside. Well, at least mine. But I was kind of a nerd till the summertime. I was reading books. I got mad at my mom when she told me to go outside. Wanted to read. Now she's proud that she let me read sometimes. She raised the wuss though.
So if we pass the budget, that will get us through 2027? Like how far?
So we have to do this every year, okay? We have to propose a budget every single year. My goal is that we are in a financially stable place that I can continue to give what children deserve like every other place does and not have to continuously ask for more from you all. However, we cannot deny that gas is increasing, meaning heat bills come in. We're already slightly under appropriated. I already know it because we did not know gas was going to be, what is it, $4.35? You know what I mean? Well, no, I buy the cheap gas now. I have to buy the regular one. I can't do the big one no more. But healthcare goes up. I don't know why we're acting like healthcare is not going up. There's also this notion, yes, Mount Vernon has declining enrollment. And I said this multiple times, yet our students with disabilities are increasing.
Yes.
Substantially. A general ed student generally will have one person working with that student. A student with disabilities would have 2 to 3 teachers working with that teacher. That's why the staff levels have just stayed flat. And I'm trying to explain it, but I'm just, like I said, people just want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to listen. I just can't do it no more. I know what I'm talking about. Same thing with English language learners. You have to not only have a teacher, you have to provide E&L services, meaning I have to either pull out or push in to that classroom to ensure that that student has a session where they can learn and acquire English. And don't let it be a student with a disability and they're an English language learner.
Right.
because you could realistically, and I know this to be true, because remember where I started, I said, God don't put you places. You could realistically have 6 teachers that have to be with that child in a day. So when people come to you and say, declining enrollment, I'm thinking about that, get on my nerves. Some of them people just be like bothering me. Declining enrollment, you asking for more, yep, cost went up, okay? Guess what, a ream of paper don't cost the same. You know what I mean? Pencils don't cost the same unless you want me to get the cheap ones. Then they be like, why are you getting the cheap ones? They break in. And then I'm like, okay, I can't win. Okay? Why? Exactly. Like, what am I gonna do? You know? But that's the main issue. So even though our general education enrollment is declining, our students with disabilities are increasing. The needs of our students with disabilities are increasing substantially. Today I was at a school and a young girl was there. Small class, five students in the class, 5 adults. And guess what? Every single one of those adults needed to be there. Every single one of those adults needed to be there. Cognitively disabled. Then I get a text that they had to go into the bathroom to get this young lady some help, pulling out hair and undressing themselves.
Yeah.
That wasn't, it was happening when I was in school. It wasn't to this degree. It was not to this degree. So you're saying that that young lady doesn't deserve what she has? Because that's whenever somebody is a naysayer, they tell me that student don't deserve what they should get by being in school.
And the enrollment is declining all over.
I told you, things that are common is not uncommon, okay? I mean, like, Vernon enrollment is declining. Guess what? New York City lost how many, it had to be, I think, something 100,000 students after the pandemic. They had less than 6 figures now. When I was in New York City, we had over 1 million students. Now it's under 1 million. They don't know where they are. They're gone. Yonkers, they're gone. Albany, they're gone. Buffalo, some of them came back. Can't say them. Rochester, they're gone. White Pine, they're all declining. Declining, and costs are going up. Costs are going up.
Can I just say this? Part
Yes.
of the reason that the younger children or numbers are declining is because
That won't reach.
because the whole country is aging.
Yes.
The whole country is aging. And we know for a fact, for the census in 2010 and the census in 2020, we know for a fact, I happen to work for Westchester County government, and I'm also in the Department of Senior Programs and Services. So the 250,000 seniors in the county, plus the disabled, they're all my demographic. I work with all of them. So we know for a fact that 10 to 12,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every day. Every day, 10 to 12,000. We also know that by 2030, 4 years from now, the baby boom senior population will total 73 million, a cohort. Then I look in my family, and I bet you if you look in your friends in your family, most of our young people, particularly now that they're 30, 31, 33, before they think about getting married, or before they think about even having a kid. If you look around in your community, how many baby carriages have you seen lately? How many parks have you passed And you've seen kids out there sliding on the slide and swinging on the swing.
Not next year if this budget don't pass.
But what happens is that I've heard people say before, Mount Vernon's closing schools. It's not just Mount Vernon.
No, not at all.
It is all over New York State, this region, it is all over the country. So we have a drastic decline, which is also going to have a profound effect on people's Social Security in the future. Because all of those layers of young people who used to work will not be there to pay into the system. So as we continue to age, we got some challenges ahead. But we also have challenges because those elderly people are having difficult times paying their taxes.
Yes, yes.
And there's no question about that. Mount Vernon has the biggest population of foreclosures, but these foreclosures are all over Westchester County.
That's right.
They're in Somers, they're in Irvington, they're in Mamaroneck, they're in people in areas that you would never even think. So it seems that when the recession in 2008-9 really hurt a lot of baby boomers, and then 10 years later you had COVID, and COVID put the nail in the coffin. And so now many of those people who are the people who are maintaining the schools, those are the people who are now fast declining, and Diane knows that. I don't know how many calls we get every day about people in foreclosure and being evicted. And so there's a whole lot going on in this world. So you need to understand that one thing, when you sit on a
They're
waterbed,
not getting the money that they should
you
be
sit on the
getting.
waterbed here, it's going to pop up on the other side, and that's what's happening in the economy.
Right.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I said I don't got no kids. You know why? Because I would forget to come home and feed them, forget to bathe them. I mean, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to. I know what my limitations are, and I know what my job is right now. I mean, and thinking about it now, I'm like, I'm glad I don't got no kids because y'all wear me out. That's real talk. Yes.
One of the things that we've heard numerous times, I think even last night, one of the questions that we've heard numerous times, I think we heard it last night. I think someone asked or someone made a statement about it, and we heard it during the board elections. And then it's been on social media that the budget needs to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb, or the expenses, and that we haven't found all the savings that are made available to you, and that there's a lot of grant money still available and we're not going after the money. With the grant side, I know we have a grant writer. What's realistically how much money comes from the grant side? Like, even if you had the best grant available, and then, I mean, we know that you've gone through this budget,
Yes.
but we keep hearing it over and over
Yeah, I
again.
mean,
That
yeah.
people, I mean, that's part of the.
That's what they're doing now.
Yes.
Again, that's what they
But
do
that-
to
but
take
that-
me
but
away
that-
from children.
That if
So-
they came in and did the budget,
Yes.
they would find all this.
No, they would not.
money,
Okay, so realistically, our title funds is a little over $3 million. Okay, $3 million is nothing. Okay, $3 million is nothing. All right, so that's one. Fine-tooth comb. I mean, I can't go get no more fine-tooth than. Why you think I'm presenting the budget? How in the world am I presenting the budget as a superintendent? You know why? Because I went through it with a fine-tooth comb. People keep talking about the savings from the school. The number that was thrown out there, unfortunately, was incorrect. 17 million is incorrect. I'm sorry. Okay? People did not account for the fact that children did move. Meaning costs at Graham went up. How many new teachers did you get? A lot. People all got a lot more new teachers. Yeah, the ones that were laid off, they thought all those costs together would amount to 17 million, but guess what? No, you didn't account for the fact that half of this staff actually will be moving to this school. So they told you how much in each of the buildings, how much those would amount to, and that was 17 million. But then again, didn't account for the fact that half of those teachers did not get laid off, meaning the cost transferred. So now that school, which used to be, $5 million a year to operate, is now 7. So that's again an anomaly. And then the biggest thing people fail to forget, I started on July 1st, and I was negative 5.7 million in the hole. Ladies and gentlemen, that's called a deficit budget. Meaning that little 6 million that we saved, that's gone. That's gone. And guess what? I found out you all had a deficit budget the year before that. And you under appropriated lines. When you know that the utility bills are gonna be $1, you cannot appropriate 99 cents. You have to do $1 or more dollars. That has been happening. That is not going to happen now. That's not going to happen. Sorry, I've been in the game. I mean, I've been in the trenches, and I really do know. It's not perfect, but I mean, like I said, I heard back in the day, Mount Vernon High School was the bomb. Mount Vernon was the bomb. Guess what? It's going to take me a few years to make this the bomb. It's going to take a little bit of time. And I will tell you, people have come up to me. I have neighbors in my building that literally I'll be trying to you know what I mean? I don't want to look at them. Dang. Literally, I get in the elevator and then they come. The whole family too. It's like 5 of them. I'm like, dang. They're like, are you the superintendent? We see the difference already. We see the difference already. That's it. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. And now these attacks let me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the work. Because that's always how it comes. When you focus on the kids and not them, that's what they'll do, is attack you.
So I have a question. Dr. Strickland,
Yes.
or really a statement.
Then we gotta,
Oh, I have to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then Diane's going to talk. I'm Dr. Vivian Salmon, and I want to say thank you so much for coming here.
Absolutely.
One, I want to encourage you to continue to move forward.
Yes.
Tonight, you enlightened many of us on the budget and obviously all the complexities that are engaged in the budget.
Yes.
And we also want to let you know that this is not an easy journey. And I'm sorry that you have been faced with the lion's den as you walk through this cub life in Mount Vernon. Everybody's not a naysayer. Everybody is not a naysayer. We understand the complexities and the comprehension of this educational program that you're trying to put together, and we are for it because we understand. I'm a product of Mount Vernon High School. Yep. I came out of Mount Vernon High School, came out of Davis, went on to college, went on and got my PhD, went on and got some other education. So I'm a product of all this academia that you're talking about. So I just want to encourage you, don't get tied into the naysayers. Don't get tied into what they're saying, but continue your journey, and God bless you.
Thank you. I just want to end with this before, I ain't gonna make it. I used to say my bedtime was 8:30. It ain't. Y'all done messed that up. That done changed. I'm gonna end with this. Oh, snap. So we really gotta go. Listen. Reverend Dr. Stephen Pope had a message on Sunday. I tell people this: when I go to church, I just be wanting to listen because I'm a worshiper first, and then I I'm a superintendent second. So when they be like, can you say a few? I'm like, bang. But he said, this ain't nothing but David and Goliath. And I just have to slay the dragon. So my eyes and ears are open. And that's where you all come in, because you know where I'm focused. And that's the thing that trips me up. I'm focused on her. What's your name, dear? Jazz, nice to meet you. I'm focused on Jazz, and what happens, or what ends up happening, is that I get that side punch over here because I was focused on the children. So that's where I ask for your support. Again, I cleared up all misconceptions. Whenever I told you, when I see something wrong, I scream to the wolves, because I'm like, these folk, they ain't coming for me. I'm telling them all the stuff that's wrong. Okay? I'm telling them all the stuff that's wrong. Yup. The A students coded wrong. Yup. The amount of students that were listed as Mount Vernon in charter schools, incorrect. Meaning we didn't even get the funding that we had to. Yup. I be saying it. I'm like, ooh, I found another one. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. But you're not going to have anyone that is no harder working than I am. And like I said, I moved to Mount Vernon when people said, where are you going to move? Try to go to White Plains, try to go here. I said, no, I'm going to go in the community. I'm going to go. I live in the north side. I kind of wish, never mind. I need everybody. No, I like my place. I don't like moving. But I wanted to be in the community. I wanted to go be in the community. And that's because of my commitment to the community, to the children, to this. All right? You're not just talking to the soup, you're talking to your neighbor. All right? If you see me at CVS, say hi. I want to tell you, those fire victims are still around. The amount of times that I go get my expensive medications, all right, expensive, because remember what y'all trying to do to me. And the amount of people that say, you're the soup, and you took care of us. And I'm trying not to break down in the daggone CVS, because it's about being a human.
Yeah.
A human first. With that being said, thank you, Ms. Atkins.
Thank you, guys. So the party's at Diane's house. Y'all have a good time? Make sure you go around and tell them the party was great. Don't give them no other details.
And tell them to go out on the 16th and get the other people to get out and vote.
That's what
But they gotta go out and vote.
We gotta go vote.
I hope our everybody here will tell someone to tell 5 people, whatever. Ronnie Cox, I wanted Ronnie. Ronnie's part of part of everything. But where's Brenda? Brenda has this T-shirt on. I want y'all to see this T-shirt. Tell them what this T-shirt is about.
This T-shirt is from 2008, 2009. 2009. That was when my oldest child was graduating from Mount Vernon High School. Student athlete, AP honors, scholar, went to Australia, beat their champion in the 400-meter hurdles, went and got a national ranking, and we were out on the corner with buckets, literally at the corner stop of the highways, begging, asking for money. And some people took and threw money at the children. But that was okay, because no pride here. I went and picked that money up and put it in the bucket because we needed that money. So this shirt, my family designed, and we sold these shirts $10 a pop as a fundraiser to raise money for our children in the district. So I just coincidentally, I went in the closet, and God is good. He's great and greatly to be praised, because I didn't go looking for it, and it was right there on a board because every community meeting, every community event, activity, whether it had to do with the school district or not, my family and I, we had this long van for y'all who remember, and we roll up in that van and pull out tables, and we had a setup. And we put these shirts out on an easel, and we had the setup, and my children would run around in the group asking people if they wanted to purchase a shirt, if they wanted to make a donation to the organization, to our school district. So that's where this shirt is. And so I'm hoping that I don't have to go back to my designer for this, my printer, and have some more printed up. And Ronnie's coming up, and she'll tell what the foundation did in reference to fundraising.
So
Actually,
what,
the foundation
what I
did
wanna
it all.
say, what I want to say is this is because the budget did not pass. So that's what they had to do. You know, they were out raising money. Ronnie then became one of the big fundraisers.
Well, it was 2008-9, and I remember this shirt so well because mine is hanging up in the closet at home. And
Hope
that
that's a
weekend
relic.
that we were on Sanford Boulevard in front of Target with the 5-gallon buckets, what you don't know is that those buckets, as people came by, they were throwing $50 checks in the bucket, $100 bills in the bucket. And when that Monday, when we counted all the money in Memorial Field, me, Coach Semino, and all the other coaches, Monday morning I went to the bank with those buckets. I had 19,100 and whatever. And in that 2008-9, I was president of the Mount Vernon Educational Foundation. I had just become president for 2 weeks when I saw something in the paper about the sports being canceled. Lynn, you were actually a trustee at the time. And Coach Semino called me. He said, I heard that you the president. Well, we got to raise $1 million for the kids, and we need it now. And I said, I said, come to my house, Coach. I said, because what you don't know about me, my whole background was in corporate, American Express, Bahamas Minister of Tourism, etc., etc. But I wanted to learn fundraising, and for about 4 or 5 years when I left corporate, I went to go work for muscular dystrophy and the Jerry Lewis Telethon. So I understood fundraising, and I understood the corporate side of it as well. And so we raised, as Brenda knows, because she was in that audience, we started the 4th of July, and that August, before school started, I think I gave the school at the meeting $325,000. And then we were trying to raise the money for the winter sports, and Bronxville, where I just left, they did a fundraiser for Mount Vernon. They said, our kids take for granted all the stuff that they have, and our neighbors in Mount Vernon, they don't even have sports. And they called me, I called Dr. Sawyer, Tim Costello, and I said, listen, Bronxville wants to raise money for Mount Vernon. And we went to a 3-hour cocktail reception on a Sunday. And when I left there, the homeowner said, we're going to raise $100,000 for you. And I said, well, I can't leave without the money because I saw people giving in money, so I'm going to sit next to the pool. They had their dog come sit next to me. But I sat and I listened to the music, and when I left that home in Bronxville, I had about $117,000. And the owner said to me, we're going to top 200,000. And within about a week, 10 days, we started getting money from family foundations. 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. By that time, the New York Times got involved with it, Sports Illustrated. People were calling me from all over the country, and I think it was in October, I went back to the school district and gave them over $350,000. And then when Bronxville gave me that over $200,000, Denzel Washington, I've never said this enough, Denzel Washington heard about it. And he had his lawyers call me, and they sent me 100. And then with what Bronxville did for us, that's how I was able to pay for the fall sports.
And Denzel came. He came to Mount Vernon.
Yeah, he came, and Ben Gordon and everybody. And then the last piece of the money was the beginning of 2009, because that was the beginning of the recession, and we didn't know whether we were going to be able to have money for the spring sports. So I prayed on it, and the school district and all of us got together, went back to the media, and the people came out of the woodworks. We not only raised that $1 million, we also, I called Coach Amino to my house because we had about 80,000 left over. And I said, Coach, what you want to do with the 80? Because I'm restricting this so that the school can't spend it without your signature on it. And so Coach came to my house, and they wanted to redo the gym. They needed equipment, uniforms. They wanted to start a wrestling program. And all of that came out. So I wrote a letter to the trustees. Lynn was on the board at the time, and to the superintendent. And I said, when you get to the last $2,000, I give permission to Coach Samita to have the baddest party for these kids that he's ever had. And that's how we spent that money. But listen, times are different. Times are different because everybody's in trouble. Everybody is in the soup. So we have to pull together, do what we can do. We got to get this budget passed. It's not going to be, we pulled a miracle out of a hat. We're not going to be able to do that a second time. And by the way, I did it for free. 100% volunteer, didn't take not one penny out of it. The school district, accountants and lawyers, they vetted everything that we did, and they certified that everything was done correctly. And we did it, but that was a one-time shot deal. And so we have to pull together. Thank you.
I appreciate all of you who have come. I hope you got something out of this. I hope that you will help us strong. I hope you'll help the school district, in a big way, and carpool, do whatever you have to do, to get out. And if you need help, let the school district know. I'm so sure that they will help and get people transported and whatnot. So I want y'all to have a lovely evening. It says it's supposed to rain at 9 o'clock. I don't want y'all to have to run. So I see how dark it got. It gets me nervous. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Absentee.
The absentee ballots. Absentee ballots. Talk about the absentee ballots.
Absentee ballots.
Talk about the absentee ballot,
They can call the Board of Education.
If you need to check out the absentee ballots,
They can call the Board of Education.
Call the Board of Education.
What you go to these days?
Thank you.
Got the what?
I'm going to show you the It was me who was on the phone. Yes, it was me who was on the phone. Told me you were coming. Yes. Oh, okay. All right.
Bye.
Stay well.
So we need people to come out and vote. Don't forget budget revote. Small investment, lifelong return. June 16th, 2026, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Polling locations, scan the QR code below. If you have an extra phone, scan the QR code for more up-to-date budget information. You can go to the school district's website for more up-to-date budget information. Don't forget, pass the word, come out, budget revote, small investment, lifelong return. June 16th, Tuesday, June 16th, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Budget revote. Proposed budget total, $275,542,563. This proposed budget protects the following programs: athletic and extracurricular programs, counseling, safety/security, technology, gifted and talented, bilingual education, career and technical education. It's a revised budget that's 1.50% tax levy increase. The district heard the community that 1.99 was too much and brought the tax levy down to 1.50%. A reduction total of $699,293. A reduction total of $699,293. 2006-2007 school year budget revote. What you need to know. What is at stake? If voters don't approve this budget, under New York State education law, if voters reject a school district's proposed budget twice, the Board of Education must adopt a contingency budget. This action enforces strict caps on spending on only essential, legally mandated expenses. Due to state regulations, a contingency budget would require the district to make specific reductions. All athletic programs ended. Eliminate entire sports program, including all modified junior varsity and varsity teams. No free public facility use. School facilities such as pool and playgrounds closed to public use. Use requires full cost payment. Programming cuts. After-school programs, summer programs, and gifted and talented programs will not be implemented. CTE expansion halted. No expansion of the career and technical education program at Mount Vernon High School. Staffing reduction. 5% cuts to staffing across all levels and areas and reduction in full-time counselors in elementary buildings. Contracts remain unnegotiated. Unable to negotiate 2 bargaining unit contracts that have already lapsed 2 to 3 years. When operating under a contingency budget, school districts must adhere to several strict statutory regulations outlined in New York State education law and 260A. For more information about the contingency budget, visit https://www.nyssba.org, New York State School Board Association, for more information regarding contingency budget. In closing, once again, don't forget, budget revote, small investment, lifelong return. June 16th, 7 a.m., 9 p.m. Thank you. Have a good night.
We'll need it.